What's going on, guys? How you guys doing today? Me? I'm doing pretty good. I'm enjoying life. Life is beautiful. There's some things that I would like to be doing better at the moment or that I need to get done at the moment, but there's nothing really that I can complain about. I'm blessed. And so I wanted to come and talk to you guys a little bit today about life and understanding how precious life is and understanding how we should be treating life each day. So when I was 18, I really grew to understanding the finality of life and how precious life is because my brother was killed when I was 18. So experiencing death at that age, it matures you in a few different ways. So like in your teens, you tend to do stupid things. You're a little bit more reckless with life because you don't really see the repercussions of your actions. You feel like you're invincible, so you do things that you probably shouldn't do, things that you could probably get hurt doing. And when my brother died, I started to, I guess as a form of just trauma, I, stopped doing things that were so reckless because I understood how precious life was and how you could be here one day and gone tomorrow. So I wanted to be a lot smarter with my moves and stuff like that. I didn't want to go to parties that I felt like were going to be dangerous. I didn't want to go to clubs that I felt like it was going to be dangerous because I just understood that, things can happen at any moment and you're not invincible from those things happening too. So I guess it was a form of trauma, but I would call that a good trauma. It's having your flags up. When you start to see things going wrong, you're already trying to get out the door like, oh, I see things popping off. I'm trying to leave. I don't even want to be here for this because I know what's about to happen. Just being aware and cognizant of moments and situations that you put yourself in. And so along with that, it made me take life a lot more seriously, a lot more aggressively. So going through high school, I didn't really take school too serious. It was really just basketball and girls. So education, I didn't get really serious about until later. I would say my brother triggered that. I wanted to go harder in life, mainly because he didn't get the opportunity to do so. Because when he passed, I remember being 18 and I'm thinking at that time that 21, like, man, that's an old age. But when I turned 21, I was like, man, this is young. Like, my brother died at this age. I haven't even experienced anything in life yet. You know what I mean? So I felt like at that moment that I had to go hard because I was no longer doing it for myself, but I was also doing it for him because he didn't get the chance to do it. He didn't get the chance to succeed in life. He didn't get the chance to build a family. I didn't get the chance to be an uncle, so was kind of robbed of those things. So I just felt like I had to pursue life a lot more aggressively. It just kind of matured me faster to do things correctly and move differently in order to achieve some type of success for myself. So it was one of the greatest decisions that I made mentally for myself, to be more serious, to take school more seriously because there were things that I wanted to do with my life. See, when you don't have direction, when you don't have goals or things that you want to do, it's hard to put focus into anything because you don't know what you want to do. So how can you put your focus towards anything? So when you have a mission, when you have something to drive towards, you're driven, you're mission driven, you're focused, and you know what you have to do in order to achieve those goals. So I set out goals of, wanting to be an entrepreneur at some point in my life. That means I needed to get a job where I can be getting paid enough, where I can save enough money to start my own business. So I had goals and I had plans. I had a strategic plan and, it was about me executing at that point. And that's the difference between successful people and non-successful people. We can all come up with plans. We can all come up with goals, but it's execution. Who can execute on those goals? Who can execute on those plans? That's what separates people. So I just took life more seriously. honestly, I also became a lot more appreciative of life and understanding how blessed I was, and understanding that most of the issues that I had with life were first world problems. I wasn't struggling to find food. Thank God I had a caring girlfriend at the time who, if I was struggling with rent, she would help pay part of my rent. If you got you a good girl like that, man, keep them, because, you know, not every person is like that. Not every person is, you know, willing to give a part of them to help you out. So super appreciative of her. But I was thinking, you know, how blessed I am and how, you know, I'm not fighting for food. I'm not fighting to have clothes on my back like other people are in third world countries, you know, like Kenya or India or something like that, you know. So I really started to understand how blessed I was. So it changed my mentality. It allowed me to put things into perspective. Anytime I was feeling down or I was feeling like everything was going wrong, I would just take a step back, look at things from a macro view and think like, okay, man, your life's not that bad. You just got a few hiccups here. We need to figure out how to get through those things. So I just changed my view of life and, you know, my mentality of how I would attack obstacles or how I would overcome issues that were arising in my life. So the point I'm trying to drive is my brother dying was a gift and a curse. I no longer have a best friend. I'm no longer with the possibility of becoming an uncle. I no longer share a connection with somebody that's similar to me. I'm now an only child. That's the curse. I'm alone in some aspects. I became alone growing up in my 20s, which made me a very solo type individual. I became very much to myself. I think mainly because of that transition where it was a lot of time where I was spent to myself, especially grieving. My grieving process was very long because initially I didn't grieve because I felt like I had to be strong for my parents. And if they saw that I was okay, that they would be okay. And that kind of delayed my grieving process. So because I didn't grieve how a normal person should grieve, that transformed into a different form of energy to where I became a lot more angry. And, you know, I had periods through the day where I was just upset. And it wasn't until I was about like 26 or 27 where I really realized where my anger was coming from, where it stimulated from. And because there was a point in my life where I wasn't angry like that. So it's just figuring out where that point was, what triggered that. And I believe it leads back to me not grieving properly and that grief transforming into a different form of energy. So that's me becoming self-aware about myself, because when I went to college, I started becoming very much into books. I started hoarding books, reading books, trying to learn everything I could because I wanted to be an entrepreneur. So I wanted to understand how other great leaders thought, how, you know, what other great leaders had in common that made them great. You know, so I wanted that information. I wanted to know the secret formula of becoming great and having successful businesses and becoming just a successful person in general. So I also went through a period where I was kind of trying to understand myself better. I guess you would say try to reach a little bit more of enlightenment. And so I went through that period of trying to understand myself, becoming very self-aware of how I operate and why I operate. And it's still a process that I'm going through today. You know, I'm still learning about myself and trying to change the negative things about myself so they don't affect the relationships I have with friends or, you know, my partner. So it's forever a process. The moment you stop evolving is the moment you die. You should always be evolving. You should always be learning, you know, and I really believe that people that grow old and still have their quickness and their mind and their brain functioning, is because they are continuing to learn. They either did things to challenge their minds, like reading or doing puzzles or something to stimulate their brain. So I am very much, like that, and wanting to continue to learn and wanting to push the envelope always, because I'm always looking to better myself. I'm always looking to progress, to become somebody of great knowledge, great wisdom, because I put in the work, I put in the effort to understand myself, understand life more, and understanding what, really brings happiness in life. That's always been a quest of mine, is trying to find true happiness. And it's doing things that, you were brought on this earth to do, understanding what you're passionate about. That's what brings you true happiness. I'm passionate about teaching things to people, personal growth, development, finding ways to help people, with financial literacy. I'm passionate about those things. I'm passionate about helping people in those areas. So that's why I have a YouTube where I, talk about those type of things, because I'm passionate about it and it brings me happiness. It brings me fulfillment to my soul, so that's what you have to find in life. What brings you happiness to your soul? What makes you feel the most complete? Money would never make me feel that way. Money is a resource to allow me to do other things like travel or to buy material items. It's a resource, but it does not bring me happiness. It does not bring me joy. Teaching, helping people brings me joy. More dopamine is released usually when we're helping somebody. We feel the most joy out of life when we're able to help somebody in some area, whether it's giving them food or whether it's teaching them something. So that's what brings me joy, and that's why I do what I do. But I understand life and how precious life is, and I no longer want to sit on the sideline and not do the things that really bring me happiness in life, because I understand how short life is, and I don't want to be spending most of my short years that we have on this earth doing things that I dislike. So I will want all of you guys to find out what it is that you truly like, that you're truly, in love with, that brings you the most comfort to your soul, and to go out there and do it. It doesn't need to be something that you make money off of. You could be doing it as a hobby for fun, but we all need that release. We all need that release from the hectic schedules that we put on ourselves. And, most of us have jobs that we dislike. So we need to find something to counterbalance that, disdain we have for work. And that could be, some type of activity that you love to do. So appreciate life, love life, see all your blessings, and do the things that you love to do. That's how you get the most fulfillment out of life, and do those things with the people you love. Make sure you don't isolate yourself from family and friends and stuff like that, man, because I'm such a solo person. Sometimes I get caught up in being too solo to where it affected my relationship in the past. My parents have to reach out. My mom's like, why don't you call me sometime? And I hate to have people feel like I don't want to talk to them or I don't care about them. I do care. It's just sometimes I get caught up in my own world. I'm very much in my own world, in my own mind all the time. So it sometimes pushes people away. Me trying to build a brand on YouTube. I spend hours making videos, editing videos, producing videos. I have to write what I'm going to talk about. I have to write it out, organize it, and then, go through it and actually say it where it makes sense and you can understand. It has to have a nice flow. So there's a whole process to it. So I can get caught up in things that pushes off my relationships with other people. But I want you guys to not forget about those relationships. Keep family close. Because at the end of the day, if you don't have family, you don't have friends. We're social beings. So if you don't have those things, nothing in life will make you happy. So you need to find those connections, make those connections, do the things you love to do. Just appreciate all the things that you have, and, continue to stay positive and continue to do these things, because at the end of the day, you'll have a more fulfilled life. You would be appreciating life, loving life a lot more. And I want us all to be, mentally in a good space and enjoying the things that we do and the people we have around us. So I thank you guys for checking this video out. I'll have more content coming. I just wanted to do, a quick video on life, because I've just been thinking, I've been in my mind a little bit lately, about being appreciative and looking at the finer things. So I thank you guys, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. I'm out.